Elissa, welcome back to the Pet
Thank
Buzz.
you.
So tell us why it's important to train your dog. Because I think before we need to save money, we need to know why it's important to have our dogs trained.
Yeah, it is very, very important. Training, it's essential when you get a new dog or an existing dog, just to build their confidence, your confidence. You can provide mental stimulation and you can really strengthen the bond between you and your dog in general.
During the pandemic, a lot of people weren't able to take classes, but they could go online. A lot of trainers were training online. And they're also books, great books. You can always buy books, buy used dog training books off of Amazon, right?
The amount of dog training books that I even have as a dog trainer, I'm constantly, anytime I see a book, I get it, I read it, because you can never stop learning. And even with my own dogs as a professional trainer, you can never stop learning new things.
So many people did get dogs during the pandemic, of course, and many of these dogs were adolescents and given up for a variety of reasons that their new owners just didn't know about.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Those are the adoptable dogs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Additionally, with the holidays, of course, many dog owners got new puppies or they adopted dogs.
Mm-hmm.
How can training save us money when these two distinct groups of dogs were purchased or adopted?
We feel really good about adopting a dog from the shelter, but one thing I need everybody to remember is that we don't know that dog's history. So then the shelter doesn't necessarily know that dog's history fully. So when you get the dog, it might have some anxiety issues that can come out with chewing or not being able to be left alone. So you go to leave and the dog destroys your entire house. Dog training can save you a ton of money in that aspect because we are cheaper than you buying a ton of shoes again or couch. I get a lot of clients that call me showing me pictures of their house just completely torn apart by this dog. And they feel bad because the dog is anxious because they're left alone, but they have to go to work and they don't know how to handle it. Puppies, they chew, that they're teething, and a lot of people don't know how to handle that. And your dog trainer can teach you how to do these different exercises and to train your dog and you so that your dog can be successful in your home and save you a ton of money and heartache that can come along with it. Chewing your dining room table, your shoes, going through leashes. A lot of times people come with their puppies and their dogs are chewing straight through leashes and they go through them over and over again, or harnesses, or they break out of a crate. And if you're using a crate, and it can be very destructive to your home.
A dog trainer can help you and give you advice about the most appropriate toys, because a lot of people buy the wrong toys.
There's even some toys that are they say they're safe to be left alone, but they're not. One of my trainers had a Kong. It was just a little Kong, and it chewed the top off and had to have a major surgery. So different bones, there's safer versions of bones to chew on. We have a raw bone versus a cooked bone, or different plastic toys. And some are not safe for dogs, but they're advertised as safe. And your dog trainer can help you pick those different toys for teething as well. That's going to best fit your puppy or your new dog.
Let's start out with talking about some unexpected canine expenses resulting from untrained dogs.
One of the things I see happen a lot with first adopted dogs or puppies is people think that their dog would never get loose or pull on the leash so hard that they lose the leash. And things that can happen after that. Let's say they just escape out of the house. They can get hit by a car. That's a huge medical expense. Or they go after another dog, or they're too friendly with other dogs. Let's say you take your dog to a dog park and I think my dog is very friendly. Your dog might be friendly, but really rude and pushes another dog's button to the point where now you have a dog fight. And you breaking up that dog fight could cause injuries to you or another person or that dog. Now you're paying medical bills for a human or humans and a dog or other dogs. And you can have major lawsuits that could come upon that. We'll touch on that a little bit later. But even pulling on the leash, I had a client call me because the dog pulled her so hard that she landed on her face, broke her glasses, and the dog dragged her because she didn't let go of the leash. So her face was she broke her nose, face was all brush burned, and the dog got loose and ran away. Dog didn't get hit by a car that time. But ultimately, I hear that all the time. Growing up, I'm ashamed to admit it, I was just a kid, but we had lots of dogs that just would get out and go get hit by a car. And it's so sad.
This can be taught virtually as well as in person. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, especially if you have a camera, you could do Zoom. I've done a lot of consultation, behavioral consultations from people in Michigan, Tennessee, Manhattan. We have people all over the country that will do consultations with us virtually. And we can either go through lessons, or some people bring their dog to us for a board and train. And then we do in person after that, or on virtual. But it's definitely possible, as long as you follow the instructions and you have a trainer that can be really good at step by step what you need to do and keep you on task, and that you actually put the time and the commitment into the training.
One of the biggest problems that a lot of kids have, as well as adults, are dealing with jumping dogs and dogs that are aggressive. I mean, when we think about, you mentioned earlier on in the show, a Rottweiler. Okay. So it could be, not necessarily is, but it could be more of let's say an aggressive or more of a protective dog. Or we have that new puppy or that new adoptee who gets really excited when the doorbell rings, runs to the door and wants to jump on everybody.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that in terms of saving money.
So even if your dog's not aggressive, let's just go with those playful dogs. When you have guests come over, so many dogs want to jump up because it's going to get them attention, the attention that they want. And you have your family come in, and not everyone, but a lot of people are like, it's fine. He's just a puppy, or he's new. He's just being friendly. But it's really not okay. Because that one time he knocks down that kid, that child could get hurt, or grandma comes in. Now grandma's knocked down or scratched. I've had people where I've come in and the dog is not leashed, and they jump up and they rip my pants, or they scratch my arm, or they grab my bag, or grabbing my stuff. That's very stressful, first of all. But them falling down and getting hurt could cause a lot of injuries, which lead to medical bills, again, which could lead to lawsuits. Even if it's family, people sue family all the time, or your friends. You get an aggressive dog and you think, oh, he's just being protective of the family, but he doesn't have a reason to go after your family members. There's a fine line here of like you protecting the house from somebody breaking in and trying to hurt us, and just your friendly guests coming through the door. And not everybody's going to knock and wait for you to come in. I know my family's just like, hey, I'm here, open the door. If your dog doesn't know how to respond to that, and they can hurt somebody, either, they're meaning to hurt them or not, it doesn't matter. It's going to cause a lot of expenses that you don't want to have to pay for, or even hurt feelings, or your family members won't even come over because your dog is acting like a butthead.
You know what? This was really great. Thanks for joining us today. You want to give us your website?
pawandorder.com, and is spelled out.
Thanks for viewing our content on Pet Buzz Plus.